According to Professor Eleanor Whitmore, people start forming opinions about you long before they ever speak to you directly. Most judgments do not happen through conversation. They happen in silence. In every interaction, people are constantly observing. They notice your reactions, your timing, your posture, and even the smallest changes in your expression. These details quietly shape how they perceive you. The surprising part is that you are being evaluated even when nothing is being said. You may believe respect comes from what you say, but in reality, it comes from what people see. And what they see is formed without your awareness. The first thing people silently judge is how you handle attention. When the focus shifts toward you, most individuals become uncomfortable. Their body language changes, their tone becomes uncertain, and they try to fill the moment quickly with words. This reveals insecurity, because discomfort under attention signals a need for approval. But those who remain composed create a completely different impression. They do not rush to speak. They do not try to impress others. They stay steady, even when all eyes are on them. This calm presence signals confidence, and confidence that does not seek validation appears powerful. The second thing people observe is how you respond to small pressure, not major problems, but subtle moments. A delayed reply, a disagreement, a shift in tone, or an unexpected question. These small situations reveal more than big challenges. Most individuals react immediately. They defend themselves, explain too much, or show irritation without realizing it. But those who remain in control behave differently. They pause before responding. They think instead of reacting. They maintain composure even when the situation feels uncomfortable. This shows emotional discipline, because control in small moments suggests control in larger ones. And people trust those who can manage themselves under pressure. The third thing people silently evaluate is your need for validation. Many individuals try to prove themselves in every interaction. They seek agreement, they over-explain their thoughts, and they look for reactions to confirm their value. This behavior lowers perceived confidence, because when you constantly look for approval, it signals dependence. But when you remain relaxed, your presence changes. You do not force others to agree with you. You do not chase attention. You allow conversations to flow naturally. This creates independence, and independence increases respect. People are naturally drawn to those who do not rely on external validation. The fourth thing people notice is how you handle silence. Silence makes most individuals uncomfortable. They feel the need to fill every gap with words, even when those words have no real value. This reveals a lack of control, because silence requires patience. But those who are comfortable with silence create a completely different environment. They allow pauses in conversation. They do not rush to respond. They remain present without needing to speak constantly. This creates depth, because when silence exists, people begin to think more carefully. They listen more closely. They become aware of subtle details, and this awareness increases your impact. Most individuals underestimate this completely. They believe speaking more creates influence, but in reality, controlled silence creates presence. The deeper truth is this: people are always observing, even when they appear distracted. They are forming impressions based on behavior, not words, and these impressions determine how they treat you later. Respect is often decided before a conversation fully begins, and it happens quietly, without any announcement. That is why understanding silent judgment is important, because once you become aware of what people notice, you begin to control what you show. And when you control what you show, you begin to shape how others perceive you. Observe carefully. People reveal more than they say. And once you become aware of these silent evaluations, another layer starts to reveal itself. People are not only observing your reactions and presence, they are also studying your patterns over time. Because one moment can create an impression, but repeated behavior builds a belief. This brings us to the fifth thing people notice, which is consistency. Most individuals behave differently depending on the situation. In comfortable environments, they appear confident. Under pressure, they lose control. Around certain people, they change their tone or attitude. This inconsistency creates doubt. Because when behavior changes frequently, it becomes difficult to trust. But those who remain steady create a different perception. Their reactions do not fluctuate based on who is present. Their tone does not shift under pressure. Their behavior remains stable across situations. This stability creates reliability, and reliability builds respect over time. People begin to see you as someone who can be counted on, not because of what you say, but because of how you consistently behave. The sixth thing people silently judge is how you respond to disrespect. Not obvious disrespect, but subtle forms. A dismissive tone, a slight interruption, or a lack of acknowledgement. These small moments reveal emotional control. Most individuals react quickly when they feel disrespected. They defend themselves, raise their voice, or try to regain control immediately. But controlled individuals respond differently. They do not react impulsively. They assess the situation before responding. Sometimes they choose to address it calmly. Other times they choose to ignore it completely. This selective response shows strength, because reacting to every small trigger signals emotional dependence, but choosing when to respond signals control, and control creates authority. People begin to realize that you are not easily provoked, and when you are not easily provoked, others become more careful. The seventh observation people silently observe is how you carry yourself in moments of uncertainty. Uncertainty creates discomfort for most individuals. When situations are unclear, they become restless. They try to force answers, rush decisions, or seek reassurance. But those who remain composed in uncertainty behave differently. They do not rush. They allow situations to unfold. They stay patient even when outcomes are not clear. This patience creates confidence, because it shows that you are not dependent on immediate answers. You are comfortable with not knowing everything, and this comfort creates stability. People begin to trust those who do not panic under uncertainty, because uncertainty is where most mistakes happen, and those who remain calm in such moments appear more capable. The deeper truth is this: silent judgment is not based on a single action. It is built through patterns. Every small behavior adds to the overall perception. Every reaction, every pause, every decision shapes how people see you. And over time, these patterns become your identity in the eyes of others. This is why awareness is powerful, because when you understand what people are observing, you begin to move with intention. You stop reacting automatically. You start responding with clarity. And when your behavior becomes intentional, your presence becomes stronger without needing to say anything. And when these patterns become consistent, something even more powerful begins to take shape. People are no longer just forming opinions about you, they start adjusting their behavior because of you. Because at this stage, silent judgment turns into silent influence. Without saying anything directly, your presence begins to guide how others act, speak, and respond around you. This leads to the 9th observation people make, which is your ability to remain unaffected by external opinions. Most individuals are highly influenced by what others think. A single negative comment can change their mood. A small amount of criticism can alter their behavior. This dependence becomes visible because when your state changes based on external input, it signals a lack of internal control. But those who remain unaffected create a completely different impression. They listen, but they are not easily shaken. They consider feedback, but they do not lose their balance. They stay grounded regardless of what is said around them. This creates inner strength, and inner strength is always respected. People begin to notice that you are not easily influenced, and when influence becomes difficult, respect increases naturally. The 10th thing people silently judge is your ability to stay composed during success. Success often reveals more than failure. When things go well, many individuals become loud, overconfident, or careless. They try to prove their value even more, seeking recognition and attention. But those who remain calm during success behave differently. They do not change their attitude. They do not seek validation from their achievements. They stay grounded. This creates balance, because staying stable during success shows maturity, and maturity builds long-term respect. People begin to see that your behavior is not controlled by outcomes, it is controlled by your mindset. The 11th observation is how you respond when you are ignored. Being ignored is a subtle test. It creates discomfort because it challenges your need for acknowledgement. Most individuals react by trying harder. They speak more, seek attention, or attempt to prove their presence. But those who remain unaffected by being ignored create a different signal. They do not chase attention. They do not force recognition. They continue with the same level of composure. This shows independence, because when you do not depend on attention, you gain control over it. People begin to realize that your value does not come from being noticed. It comes from how you carry yourself, and that realization changes how they treat you. The 12th and final observation is your ability to maintain control over time. Anyone can appear composed for a short moment, but maintaining that composure consistently is rare. Most individuals eventually lose control. They react under pressure, they show frustration, or they become emotionally driven. But when you remain steady over time, it creates a lasting impression. People begin to associate you with control, stability, and awareness, and this association becomes your identity. Not because you declared it, but because you demonstrated it repeatedly. The deeper truth is this: people are always watching, even when you think they aren't. They observe patterns, not just moments. They remember how you behave across situations, and those memories shape how they interact with you in the future. Respect, trust,